Hey guys, back with your latest Samsung news. We have Galaxy S21 Ultra leaks, an absolutely massive article full of S21 design renders, specs, and pretty much everything we know about the S21 phones. Also the Samsung S21 release dates, prices, and also some more camera information for that Ultra, which is looking really good. So I want to start with the release date for the S21 phones, and we'd heard 14th of January for this. This has been confirmed this and last week. So 14th of January, we can see this tweet by Max Weinbach saying pre-orders are going to start on the 14th of January. So of course that will be the launch date. We also get a more recent tweet from Ice Universe also confirming 14th of January. So watch out for that date as the release date for the S21, the Plus, and the S21 Ultra. As we get really close to this launch now, about 5-6 weeks away, we're getting more info about the colors and the setups, really specific information. So we do get this from Max Weinbach. This is really a teaser of a tweet, so we can't see much here, but obviously one of these is the camera design. Again, we can't really see much of this. We don't really need these teasers. We have the full design. OnLeaks leaked it already. This is the design that we're going to be getting. So this teaser really is a little bit useless, but we do get some colors as well, as you can see here that he's saying. So we know that we're getting Phantom Violet, which actually was leaked by Ice Universe previously. So we can see what the color will be. And we've got some really great renders coming up, so watch out for those in a second. On top of that violet color though, we have Phantom Pink, Phantom Gray or Silver, and Phantom White. We also get these leaks of the Galaxy Buds Pro from Evan Blass, and it tells us a few things. Firstly, that the Galaxy Buds Pro is the naming for these. So we've seen the Phantom Violet and now the Phantom Silver or Phantom Gray version of the Galaxy Buds Pro. Both Phantom Violet and Phantom Silver or Phantom Grey colors are these colors. These are not renders or concepts. These are actually official marketing images from Samsung that have been leaked by Evan. So these are the official colors that we'll be getting. Now coming on to the cameras and specifically the camera zoom in the S21 Ultra. If zoom is your thing, if that's something that you focus on in smartphone cameras, then for me, there's only one choice out there. And Huawei, you can't go for those now, but S21 Ultra is without a doubt going to be the king of zoom in 2021, at least for the first half. We'll see what other competitors have, but it really is a top class zoom camera, certainly way more than we're getting with the iPhone. Even the Pro Max doesn't even come close to this. Ice Universe in a couple of tweets. So he was saying that the 10 megapixel zoom cameras are industry leading. And this is in terms of hardware, also the clarity of the images. So Samsung have made a couple of improvements to the periscope zoom that they're going to be using in the S21 Ultra. It is really interesting to see this technology moving forward, and the only Samsung phone to have a periscope up until now was the S20 Ultra, and that was marketed as a 5x zoom. It was more like 4.6 or something. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's a 5x zoom, and it was incredible. The clarity of images and video on that 5x was absolutely amazing. Well, this is going to 10 times now. Not only have Samsung been able to increase the zoom range, this is optical zoom, so completely lossless. There's no cropping on the sensor, but they've actually improved the internals. So there are less reflections in the periscope, and that means that you're just going to get a more pure version of the light hitting the sensor. Another thing to note in the S21 Ultra and this periscope zoom is that the actual image sensor is way bigger than before. So Samsung have been able to fit a bigger camera sensor in here, and it's only 10 megapixels, which means that Samsung are sacrificing some resolution here compared to maybe a 12, 16 megapixel image sensor, or even the 48 megapixel one they used and cropped in on, which was 12 megapixels. So they're taking a little bit of resolution away, but with fewer bigger pixels, you should get some really good light absorption, maybe some benefits in low light. So it looks like a really interesting camera unit under that 10 times zoom on the Ultra. Now we come to a huge specs dump, a huge article by Let's Go Digital. They will be linked in the description if you want to go through and read that article. But we get a bunch of S21, S21 Plus, and S21 Ultra designs. These are all renders based off essentially what is the real device by now. So we're a month away. The real device has been made. Some people have it already to do reviews and testing it. So it is out there. And from what is known, this is essentially renders based off of that. In this article, once more, the 14th of January release date is confirmed. A couple more specs as well of the devices. So we know the S21 and Plus should come a little bit cheaper this time around, and there's a few reasons for that. Firstly, the S20 series didn't sell that well, and there were various reasons for this, but the S20 series was just very, very expensive. iPhone 12 is $800 and Samsung need to compete with this. Also, we get these screen protector images from IS Universe, and it gives us a good idea of the size differences of the screen, at least for all three phones. Also to note is that the S21 and Plus will have flat displays, also confirmed by these screen protectors. There's no curves on those. The S21 Ultra keeping a slight curve on the edges. In this leak though, you can see the Ultra has a 6.9 inch display. The S21 has a 6.3 inch display. They are 0.1 of an inch bigger than the other specs that we've got leaked, which bring them in at 6.8 and 6.2. I love the way that the bezels are symmetrical though. These are only screen protectors, and so that cannot be read through into the design of the actual phone. But from everything we know, you will get symmetrical bezels on the bottom two phones, which for me is a 2021 design. It's going to look absolutely awesome. We also get some Snapdragon 888 benchmarks in an S21 phone. In fact, the S21 and the S21 Plus, these are on Geekbench. A couple of scores are actually really different, which I guess doesn't mean anything anyway, because Geekbench really, and especially on a phone that hasn't been released yet, is kind of irrelevant. Only to say that there are S21 models being tested with Snapdragon chipsets. So if you're in North America or China, or I think South Korea, possibly still using those Qualcomm chipsets, not the Exynos. It also confirms that there are variants of both the S21 and the Plus with 8 GB of RAM. So that's what the base models were last year. So not starting at 12 GB. Again, that feeds into some rumors that Samsung may try to keep the prices a little bit lower this time. Also some news about some older Galaxy Ware devices not being supported in Samsung's 2021 phones. This is news that the Samsung Gear 2, Gear 2 Neo, Gear S and Galaxy Gear Fit will all lose support with Samsung's brand new phones. So yeah, it looks like you're gonna have to buy a new watch if you wanna buy a new S21. And then we have the absolute best of all of the leaks posted online today. This one's by Sakitech, although this image is in a few different publications online, but we can see the actual devices. Now, these may be prototype devices or tester units, and so may not be fully representative of the final devices, but here are two S21 phones, the S21 Ultra and the S21 Plus, we would assume on the right hand side. This is really our first look at real Samsung S21 devices, so we can see the camera arrays. It does look like these possibly are in protective cases, and they are definitely prototype devices, but you can see the new camera designs. I really like this. It's a kind of mix between the Note 20 Ultra, but with a little bit of a different twist on it. On the S21 Plus and S21, you're gonna get that smaller array, but it does look like a smaller single version of the Ultra's camera bump and a very similar layout. Also, big cutouts for the lenses, I think, look really good. As always, you can pause the video on all of these specs. This is what we know right now and the projected prices of these phones, hopefully coming a little bit cheaper than they did last year. That is all your Samsung news for now though. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't done already, and I'll see you in the next one.